What is up, Knights of X? We are back again with another Datacron set review video. These are happening way more common than they've ever before because Capital Games has completely changed the way Datacrons are coming our way. Every single conquest is a brand new set, and it's kind of exhausting, but it does shake up the meta more a little bit. I'll give them credit with that. It makes things more interesting, but this whole double dipping thing with like multiple factions and focused Datacrons is kind of annoying, and we're going to talk about it in this video today. But if you guys are new here, we go over every single thing about the new Datacron set, including stats, the level 3s, the 6s, the 9s, the order you should be going in. I have a cute, cool little cheat sheet at the end going over an infographic of what I recommend you guys farm for the set if you're able to get all the level 9s or you're able to efficiently farm these Datacrons during conquests. Some of them might be holding on to once focused Datacrons expire, then you have a cron available once they're gone kind of thing if it's preparing you for the future. And a lot of them are going to be very situational, and they're going to really benefit the same team in different scenarios. So we're going to have to playtest and see which one's going to be the best, but they all sound really strong on paper. So I have to admit, the level 9s are fun, and I can't wait to get into it with you guys. So heading over to the fun stuff. We're getting to the PowerPoint here, and whoops, I swapped you over to the other one. We're going to go to this one. The full screen action over here. Datacron Set 29 review. First thing we're going to go over is the stats, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move me all over this video because it's hard to fit everything everywhere on different slides. So, starting with the stats, defense is back on the table, by far the strongest stat of the set. We're already getting a glimpse of what defense is like from the previous set, and teams are very hard to take out, and they're tanky. The good thing about this is that we can counteract the defense with armor penetration, which is going to be a strong stat. So, everything on the left, they all have a use on certain teams, so I can't really say they're decent or bad. They're all very strong. I love defense. Critical damage is great. Health is great on a lot of teams. Offense is great on a lot of teams. Armor pen helps mitigate that defense. And protection. The need for protection crons is going up and up and up. A lot of teams require protection. You're going to need a JML cron and now a Satil cron to help with the high damage that they need, because without protection as a stat, their damage is going to be very mitigated. So those are all the strong stats. The only one I'm going to say is decent this set is going to be potency. Not that potency is bad by any means, but I kind of like the other stats better. Obviously, being able to land debuffs is very, important, but I like the stats on the left a little bit better. There's no tenacity to counteract potency, so kind of like maybe certain squads are going to need it, but it's not going to be super essential. I would try to get a couple crons with a little bit of potency, but nothing crazy. That's going to wrap up the stats. Nice and easy. Now, we're going to get into the fun stuff, the level 3s. Now, Dark Side again. Second, 2 in a row now. 25% turn meter, by far the go-to for the majority of teams this season. Getting out ahead of your opponent will change matchups and single-handedly win you certain battles in Grand Arena and Territory War. That's the go-to of the set. That's the strongest level 3 we have. Dark Side, start the battle with 25% turn meter. I'm telling you right now, a majority of your Dark Side crons are going to want this. There are certain situational teams that are not going to want turn meter because they don't rely on turn meter. They start with bonus turns, and they already gain 100% turn meter. So you'll see that in the infographic later. But for the most part, every single one of your teams, for Dark Side, I'd say 80% are going to be 25% turn meter. The next two best ones that are going to be situational are whenever Dark Side allies use a basic ability, they gain critical chance up, critical damage up, and offense up for 2 turns. It's a very strong level 3. It's strong, but it's not going to outweigh the turn meter. Turn meter is way more important, but those are significant buffs for a basic ability. It's a lot more damage. It can ramp up and go with your stats on your Datacron. So if you have a high critical damage cron with stats, your critical damage up is only going to boost that even more. So I really like these buffs, and going to be situational for certain teams like Inquisitors, hint, hint. Very good stuff. Next one that's pretty decent, situational. The first time a Dark Side tank is defeated, revive them with 100% health, reset their cooldowns, and they gain a bonus turn limit once per battle. So, obviously, there are a lot of very durable Dark Side tanks that like this, like Malgus does very well. Malgus does very well with a tank revive. Malik, you got Chrysanthemum, who already has an automatic revive in his kit. There are a couple of Galactic Legends. You have like, well, not Galactic Legends, but they're teams. Like, you have Vayne, but it's never going to outweigh the Vayne cron that we have now. It's all I'm saying is that it's situational. It's not going to be the go-to, but it's nice to have at least 1 or 2 for certain teams. Now, moving me out of the way, there are 2 bad ones that I don't recommend for any team. Whenever Dark Side allies start their turn with at least 3 debuffs that can be dispelled, they gain tenacity up for 2 turns. Extremely situational. I love tenacity up as a buff, but it's just not going to be as strong as the other ones that are listed. And the last bad one that is really bad, whenever dark side allies are evaded by the enemy, that ally gains accuracy up for 2 turns, and they inflict evasion down for 2 turns on that enemy, which can't be evaded. So, here's the thing. The problem is that when you go to even, land an ability and they evade, I've had it where, like, characters like Ezra have evasion down, and you still cannot hit him. So it doesn't even matter. It's just straight up not a good dark side level 3. It's one of the worst of the sets, and, yeah, that's pretty much it. We're now going to move on to the light side level 3. Moving on to light side level 3s. I had to take a call from work, so that's why there was a slight interruption in the action, but the light side level 3s are interesting. Very interesting. Not going to be as strong as the 25% turn meter for dark side, but there's 2 that are sticking out to me, and one of them is going to be very situational. Not every team is going to want it, but the majority for most of your teams are going to want the first one. Whenever light side allies use a special ability, they gain evasion up, health steal up, and health up for 2 turns. Very good to have. A lot of teams rely on more buffs, and the more buffs they have, the more damage some of them. Evasion up is actually really annoying. There are times where, let's say you're going against a certain team and you're using Malgus, and he's going for his big slam dunk ability, and the enemy team has evasion up. The amount of times I whiffed on Mace Windu with a buff on a special from the previous Grand Arena season was really ridiculous. He dodged 3 times. So the RNG with certain battles goes up with the evasion up buff. Being able to not hit your opponent is a very frustrating mechanic, and it's going to be very annoying for a lot of teams. So that's going to be your majority for most battles. Now, this next one, this is a hot take. I don't know how you guys are going to receive it, but this could be considered bad. I kind of like it a little bit for certain teams. Whenever light side allies evade in an attack, they gain 5% max health and max protection until the end of the battle. So, think about it. Ezra Bridger, right? This has no cap. If he's constantly dodging, his max health and protection is skyrocketing. He's going to get even more tanky. So, I don't know, guys. You have like a Ezracron with like 80% health, 90% health, and then he keeps dodging and dodging and dodging. His max HP is going to be ramping up a lot. So, the reason why I like it is that there's no cap. It just says until the end of the battle, gain 5% max health protection. So, this could sound good on paper and perform horribly. I want to give it a shot. Again, not going to be for every single team. Extremely situational, but I do like the endless ramping of tanky stats. It's going to be really awesome to try out. So, keep a lookout for that level 3. Now, the decent ones. There's 2 decent ones. One is clearly better than the other. Whenever light side allies grant a buff to another ally, that other ally recovers 3% health protection. Really good for banners, really good for surviving. I do like it. I wish I had more of these from the previous set in my lineup. So, I would definitely recommend having a couple of these for certain battles. Like, for example, Bo-Katan in 3v3 will benefit greatly from this because her team does provide buffs, but without OG Bo in the lineup, attacking out of turn does not recover her protection. With this gives you the opportunity to turn a 54 banner win into a 57 and 3v3, and that can make the difference in some battles. So, I definitely am a fan of this, just sometimes it doesn't outweigh the other crons. I'm going to say for this set, very situational and not going to be a bad pickup. The next one, whenever light side allies resist a debuff, they recover 2% health and protection. So, here's the thing. If you have certain allies that are immune to debuffs, right? They're immune and they resist. They could be constantly healing and recovering health and protection. So, again, situational. You're going to have to see how it performs. Because, like, let's say you're trying to land a debuff on maybe a Leia team. And the more you're trying, the more you're healing them. And that's going to make them more tanky and more durable. So, this one could be pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie to you. But we're going to have to see. I still think that the buffs on the special are going to be better, but I can see this being kind of annoying. And then over here, the only bad one that I have is at the beginning of their turn, light side allies have a 25% chance to dispel all debuffs on themselves. The only thing about this one is it's 25% chance. It's not high. It's 1 in 4. Don't like those odds. If it was 50, now we'd be talking a little bit better. Maybe even 75. This one would have a lot more merit because maybe you're relying on your stuns and the enemy team cleanses and then you're screwed. That's where it would come in handy. But that's going to wrap up all the level 3s for light side and dark side. Moving on to the character level, or the faction level 6s. We're going to start with Inquisitors, and there's one clear winner. Usually the ones that have a lot of words are usually the clear winners, and you guys are used to this. So, this is the one you're going to want for your Inquisitor team, for whatever one you have, either Reva or Inquisitor Barris. Whenever Inquisitor ally inflicts a stack of Purge, they gain 5% defense, offense, and tenacity stacking for 1 turn. Whenever a stack of Purge is consumed or dispelled on an enemy, expose them for 1 turn. Whenever an Inquisitor ally uses a basic ability against an enemy inflicted with a stack of Purge on their turn, a random other Inquisitor ally assists, dealing 5% bonus damage per stack of Purge. Then they inflict a stack of Purge, maximum of 6 on target enemy, which can't be evaded. We've seen this before. It's an absolute pain in the butt. And pair this with the level 9 that we're going to see later on, it's going to be absolutely bananas because they're going to be gaining a lot of turn meter, do some crazy things. This is by far the go-to for Inquisitors. Now, with that being said, this next one is going to be situational. I'm going to talk about specifically for Territory War sometimes. Whenever an enemy is defeated by Inquisitor ally, that enemy can't be revived. So, not saying by any means this is ever going to outweigh the wordy one, but it's nice to have at least one. I would recommend get one of these for certain situational battles, because let's say you're facing Pirate King Hondo, right? And you want to try to kill them and not have them come back? Maybe Inquisitors can beat Pirate King Hondo this season. I have no idea. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it can, you're going to want to stop them from reviving, unless they're, they have Deathmark and Grand Arena. This one, I think, specifically for Territory War, because you're not going to have Deathmark in Territory War, but I think that this is one that has to be talked about. Not ever going to outweigh the wordy one, but for certain situations, it's nice to have. Now, with that said, the only one that's decent is whenever Inquisitor allies start their turn with fewer than 2 buffs, all the other allies gain 15% turn meter. Obviously, I like turn meter gain. The more turns you get is better. But again, not going to outweigh the other two. So that's why it's decent, but it's by far not the strongest. And there's 2 clear bad ones. You don't have to get into too much detail, but whenever an Inquisitor ally deals damage to an enemy and no other enemy is blinded, inflict blind for 2 turns on target enemy, which can't be resisted. So blind is obviously a really good debuff, but come on. Never going to be strong enough to outweigh the wordy one. And the last one, which is really bad, whenever an Inquisitor ally deals damage to an enemy, and no other enemy is marked, inflict marked for 1 turn on target enemy, which cannot be evaded or resisted. Absolute garbanzo beans. Never going to change a matchup. Not good at all. So that's going to wrap up the Inquisitor level 6s. We're now going to move on to the Rebel level 6s, and these are pretty good. They're pretty good. There's a couple strong ones. First one we're going to talk about. Whenever a Rebel ally is critically hit, they gain 100% crit avoid and crit chance for 2 turns. So, I have mixed opinions on this. I do think that the crit avoid is phenomenal, but your character is going to get crit first in order for this to happen. So, what if they get, like, your Drogon gets crit by Ezra, and he's already dead by that big hit, and then he gets exiled, and then you're really screwed. It's just, I like it a lot, but, like, they need to get crit first for it to come into play. So, if your Drogon is getting crit and he's chunked, it might not even come into the equation later on. But regardless, it's very good. 100% crit avoid is going to shut down critical hits on you. And you getting 100% critical chance is going to guarantee a massive hit from you. So if you have a high crit damage cron with this level 6, you're practically going to get a guaranteed crit. So I do like it for Rebels. The next one. Whenever Rebel allies use a special ability on their turn, they gain Riposte for 2 turns. It's a huge Rebel faction, guys. This is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Riposte is going to be nice. Whenever they're attacking at a turn, they're going to be ignoring protection. So I would keep a big eye on this one. This one's going to be really, really good. And yeah, we're going to see some crazy stuff. Next strong one. At the end of their turn, Rebel allies gain defense pen up and offense up for 1 turn. Really good buffs. Really going to benefit a lot on Rebel teams that like the buffs, like a Saw Gerrera team, I think. And I am a fan of it. I do think those are the 3 strongest Rebel crons. There's one decent one. And it's not even, on certain Rebel teams like Phoenix, it's going to be banana. Absolutely bananas. Whenever Rebel allies attack at a turn, they have a 25% chance to remove 10% turn meter from the target enemy. So, in any other situation, I think it's bad. But Phoenix are attacking at a turn every single time they take a turn. So, you have like five members attacking at a turn or 4 members attacking at a turn. You're guaranteed to at least try to get some turn meter removal. So, I think this one's going to be really good for Phoenix. And looking forward to trying out and seeing what they're going to do this season. And one bad one. It's going to be whenever Rebel allies are stunned, gain 50% turn meter and recover 25% health and protection. Very situational. Not every enemy team has a stun. And obviously gaining turn meter is great, and health and protection recovery is great, but all your opponent has to do is not stun you, and you're going to be fine. So, again, I don't think that's going to be the best level 6. With that said, moving on to the level 9s. Level 9s, and we're starting with Inquisitors, and this one was tricky for me. I'm not going to lie, this one was tricky. We're going to move over here. In my expert, humble opinion. All three of these are strong. They're all going to have a use. I think the strongest one is going to be Grand Inquisitor, if you rank them. I think Grand Inquisitor is number 1. But the other two are just as strong. And the third sister one might be stronger on defense, because it's going to be very, very susceptible to timeouts for other teams. But we're going to have to see. Let's start with the first one. Grand Inquisitor. While Grand Inquisitor is active, Inquisitor allies are immune to fear and stun. Whenever an ally or enemy is defeated, Inquisitor allies gain 50% turn meter, damage immunity for 1 turn, which can't be copied, and their cooldowns are reset. That's a phenomenal level 9. It is so dang strong, and yeah, it's by far the best one out of them all, but it doesn't mean that other ones can't be used in certain situations. The immunity to fear and stun are going to practically have a shut down Malgus. It's going to cause a really hard time for them. Constant turn meter games, whether your enemy dies or whether your ally dies, they're gaining turn meter. They get damage immunity, so they're going to survive and be protected. This is going to be a very interesting meta with this one, and I'm looking forward to trying Grand Inquisitor. It's the best out of the 3. Now, third sister. This one's going to be good because it's very, like I said, susceptible to timeouts. I have lost to it plenty of times in the past. Whenever any character is defeated, third sister gains hatred for the rest of the battle or until she is defeated. While third sister has hatred, she has a 100% counter chance and 50% critical damage. At the start of third sister's turn, all Inquisitor allies with taunt dispel all debuffs on themselves, recover 20% max health protection, and gain 20 speed for 2 turns. If she has, she has high health steal in her kit. She's going to be cleansing. She's going to be going back to full health of protection. She's recovering health of protection and gaining speed. She is so annoying to deal with. This is specifically for timing out your opponent on defense. Unless you're using like a Malicos team which prevents revives, then any other team is going to have a really hard time. So this one's really strong. Not going to be as strong as the Grand Inquisitor one, but it's going to be annoying on defense. So I will recommend having at least one of these. The next one, this one actually really surprised me, because this has potential for being insane damage. But we're going to have to see where it works. That's the point. The first time an enemy is inflicted with Purge, 8th Brother gains 5% offense and 5% potency, and 10 speed for the rest of the encounter. Whenever an Inquisitor ally defeats an enemy, 8th Brother gains a bonus turn, removes 100% turn meter from the healthiest enemy, ignores taunt on his bonus turn, and deals 100% bonus damage for 2 turns. Imagine what he's going to do when he has his bonus turn and has his AoE grenade toss with high armor pen and crit damage on his Datacron. He's going to be absolutely nutty. So this one just sounds really strong on paper. I don't know if the AI is going to play it correctly or what's going to happen, but I want to have some fun with it. I think it's really fun, and I think it's a really strong one. Now, 2 decent ones. And it's not going to outweigh the Balencron, so don't worry about it. If you have Balen's Focus Datacron, that's the way to go. Have this to prepare for the future. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with Purge, all Inquisitor allies will recover 10% health. Whenever Marak assists, he deals 2% bonus damage for each stack of Soldier of Fortune. Whenever a stack of Purge is dispelled from an enemy, inflict 2 stacks of Purge on that enemy, and Marak gains advantage for 1 turn. Whenever Marak scores a critical hit, all Inquisitor allies gain 5% defense, stacking 100% until the end of the battle. So this is going to be pretty nice for a Balen team because he deals 2% bonus damage for each stack of Soldier of Fortune. He's going to be constantly assisting, so this is going to be nice. And when he's critting, he's increasing his own defense. He's going to go up to 100% extra defense. So imagine a Datacron that has high defense and you're only ramping up his defense even more. And he's already dealing bonus damage, so this is pretty nice to have. It will not outweigh the Balen Focus Datacron. Letting you guys know that. This is to prepare for later on. And the next decent one. I don't think it's bad. I think it's decent. Inquisitor Barris. Whenever Inquisitor Barris uses Flicker of Light, dispel all buffs on the target enemy and inflict vulnerable on all enemies for 1 turn. Whenever Inquisitor Barris attacks an enemy with Purge, they are blinded for 1 turn. So they're constantly going to have Purge. So she's going to be landing a lot of blind. The vulnerable is nice. It's going to guarantee crits. And the AoE buff dispel is really nice. Or it's a buff dispel on a target enemy. It's nice to have. It's nice to have. So it's not bad, but it's not greater than the Focus Datacron. But it's a good backup for when that Cron goes away. Or if you guys never had the Inquisitor Barris Cron, then this is going to be okay for you. So that's going to wrap up the Inquisitor level 9s. We're not going to move on to the Rebel ones. And again, a lot of strong ones. I don't think there's a lot of bad level 9s. I think they're the clear winners of the set, personally. The first one, Captain Drogon. I'm pretty sure this is a repeat. Going to be extremely strong. At the start of battle, all Rebel allies gain Keen Stratagem until the end of battle, and Captain Drogon takes a bonus turn. All rebel allies gain 200% max health and are immune to ability block and fear until the end of their first turn. So, JML against Leia on defense, you're not going to ability block them, and they're really, really tanky. So, this is going to be very strong. This might make Leia a strong defensive GL this season. We're going to have to see. Wampa's not going to solo it. I'm going to tell you that. They're too tanky, and yeah, they're going to be nuts. They're going to be absolutely nuts. I think Wampa's going to be absolutely smoked by it, especially if you have high defense or high damage. It's not going to happen. Really essential. This is going to be an essential Datacron for every single person in Galaxy of Heroes. It's so good. Next one, Trute Imwe. Very good. If the allied leader is a rebel fighter, whenever an ally gains a stack of heal over time, Trute and Baze gain 10% offense stacking until the end of the battle. That is no cap. By the way, there is no cap to that. 10% offense stacking till the end of the battle. Not for 2 turns, not for 1 turn. The damage potential is skyrocketing. Trute also gains 5% turn meter limit once per turn whenever he uses a basic ability, and Baze Malbus is called to assist. So what I'm thinking right now for the season, you're going to have Saw, Luthen, maybe Kyle Katarn, Trute, and Baze. And that's going to be your team. And they're going to be doing really crazy stuff because they gain a lot of heal over time, and their offense is going to be off the charts high. So I'm really looking forward to this one. If you guys have Trute in your roster, make sure he's at Relic 7. Next up, Princess Leia. At the start of battle, if there are no Galactic Legend allies, the following effects are active. Whenever rebel allies attack at a turn, they gain 5% defense, stacking max 120% until the end of the encounter. Whenever Princess Leia critically hits an enemy, she gains 5% offense, stacking to 120% until the end of the encounter. Whenever a rebel ally defeats an enemy, all allies gain retribution, speed up, protection up 100% for 2 turns, and Stormtrooper Luke stealths for 2 turns. So this is going to be very good for 3v3 with Stormtrooper Luke and Stormtrooper Han. That's what this is going to be meant for. I'm personally looking forward to it because I never got the Stormtrooper Luke Focus Datacron up and running to level 9. So this will be my replacement for that. And once that goes away, you're going to want to have this in your roster for 3v3 specifically. So this one still sounds so strong on paper, and I recommend you guys get it as well. Now, the only bad one, or it's not bad, it's decent. This is a previous Focus Datacron, I believe, and it kind of opened up the floodgates for Phoenix to counter it pretty easily in 3v3, so that's why I'm putting it in the decent category. It's not that good on defense. At the start of the encounter, if Admiral Raddus is the ally in the leader slot, and all other allies are Rogue One, inflict defense down exposed for 2 turns on all enemies, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever Admiral Raddus uses a basic ability, he calls another random Rogue One ally to assist. Admiral Raddus can't be defeated while K2SO is active. So, again, this is a repeat of a Focus Datacron. It sounded really good on paper when we first got it, and it opened up Phoenix in 3v3 on defense and even 5v5. And Raddus isn't going to be used on his own in 5v5. He's going to be used with Leia. So, it's not even going to be worth it. It's mostly meant for 3v3, and it's not a defensive team. If they are able to beat Inquisitors, which I don't think they will, then this will be pretty good. But in the meantime, I would grab it if you guys wanted an extra, 3v3 team for offense, but not super essential. So that is going to wrap up the level 9s. The next thing we're going to talk about is the most OP one of the set. I always like to have at least one in the OP category for stuff that it sounds really good on paper and it's going to have a lot of fun to use, but we're going to have to see. But I highly recommend everyone goes for it. And the one I'm talking about, I'm going to move me over here, is, you guys probably are asking, where is it? Hera Syndulla level 9. This on paper sounds absolutely insane, and we're going to have to see how it performs, guys. We're going to have to see. Whenever Hera Syndulla uses play to strength, she gains backup plan. While Hera Syndulla is active, Phoenix allies gain 50% critical chance and critical damage. Whenever a Phoenix ally attacks at a turn, they recover 10% health and protection, and gain 5% defense pen, stacking to 100%. 100%. That's very good. Whenever a debuff is dispelled on a Phoenix ally, all Phoenix allies gain 5% offense stacking. So they're going to be having a lot of damage. It's nuts. If all allies are Phoenix and Hera Syndulla is in the leader slot, when Hera Syndulla damages an enemy during her turn, she instantly defeats the enemy if she has backup plan once per battle. She's going to have a practical insta-kill. She's instantly defeating a target enemy if she has backup plan. So, turn 2 insta-kill on Hera Syndulla. Whenever a Phoenix ally defeats an enemy, all Phoenix allies gain Foresight for 2 turns, and Hera Syndulla gains a bonus turn. So, here's the thing. The only drawback to this is that all your allies need to be Phoenix. Now, when you're facing Inquisitors, there's always that RNG with Grand Inquisitor putting the torture on Captain Rex. And if that happens, you lose. That's why you usually have to be bringing in a pre-taunting tank. But we're going to have to see if this can beat other teams. That's what I'm mostly focused on. Not just Inquisitors. I want to see if this can beat Galactic Legends, because this sounds really strong on paper. Having an instant defeat on turn 2 is really good. And the ramping offense, the ramping critical damage, the defense penetration, they're going to be hitting very hard. And I'm looking forward to it. So I think that everyone should at least try to get this level 9 and see how it's going to perform. I think it sounds really good on paper, and I am really excited to try it out. So with that said, guys, we're going to move on to the very last slide, which is going to be my little Vex cheat sheet of stuff that I'm going to recommend for you guys. It's going to be in my Discord if you guys want to grab the infographic to share with your guilds. That's where you're going to find it, in the infographic section for the Datacron. So here we go. Set 29 cheat sheet. This is what Vex is recommending, and I'm going to hide my webcam for a little bit so you guys can see it fully. But this is it. These are all the level 9s that I'm recommending. The only one I couldn't fit on the slide was Radis, but honestly, it's very skippable in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be as good. But you're going to see here, they're not in any particular order. I tried my best to put them in a, in terms of strength, but they're all really, really strong. And some of these are going to be backup for later on when you have to get rid of your focus Datacrons. But Phoenix, very good. Syndulla, Captain Drogon, Grand Inquisitor, Reva, 8th Brother. You're going to see I have them listed 3 times. There's 3 Inquisitor teams. We're going to have to see which ones are better. But I would recommend getting each one if you can. Leia for Stormtrooper Luke in 3v3. I think Riposte is going to be really good with the attacks out of turn. The Marok one for Balin. The Inquisitor Barriss one for the 3v3 Inquisitor Barriss team. And then Chirrut for Assault team. And I think that's going to be my personal recommendation for you guys. So I want to know what you guys think about this Datacron set, and if you agree with my list, or what you would change with the infographic if I got all the level 3s and 6s correct for these teams. Very open to your feedback and see what you guys have to say. So don't forget, guys, want to mention this before we end the video. On the road for 10,000 subscribers at the end of April. We're going to be doing a huge giveaway if we hit that goal. So help your boy Vex out by leaving a like on the video, commenting down below, and subscribing to the channel. And I really appreciate it, guys. So let's get ready for a new Datacron set. Conquest is coming on Monday. Get ready for some infographics on that as well. And may the Force be with you all. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.